recording now. Hello everybody, Stuffed Steve. We're in a series here of actually taxidermying a fish that I caught myself. And this is just steps of how to get him from swimming around in the water to hanging as a trophy on your wall. And we're going to get in the shadows and how to prepare the fish by using acrylics, which is like a liquid plastic, to kind of help the biological part of him, stay around. I have things mounted personally over 25 years old, and I owe that to the materials that I use. Now I use these specific materials for on down the road, like when he's hanging up on the wall. When you look behind him, everybody's going to look behind the back to see what happened to the back side. Well, I like to use a nice opaque material, and we'll find that out here in a little bit. But when you look up there, and when the shadows are bouncing off of it, it really has a nice effect. I repacked all this, and now he's been drying. I picked him up, he feels real light, and now we're gonna look at his fins and clean him up a little bit. I got ways to do that. And then let him set overnight so all the material I use has a good chance to settle in good, and then we'll paint. If you're really interested, I've been doing this ever since I was a young boy, and even ran my own business for a long time. That's how I supported myself. And if you're good at it, people will see. See how we're taking the pins out? We're taking our time. Okay, that's got it pretty good. Now next, we'll take all the paper clips off. I like to keep them in shape so they don't get all tangled up. Now I would be doing this to a 20-pound pike or a 30-pound striper. Everything would be the same. Because when he's hanging up on the wall, he's up there and you could really scrutinize him. Now we could take the fish and then all this, put it over there. Blow him off a little bit. That's basically going to be him right there. Now I'm going to get this step taken care of and clean up everything, and then I will go in and show you how to deal with these fins. That's where the acrylics comes in, to kind of put a little bit of that material into the biological part of it to kind of help it last and kind of bring it back a little bit. Alright, we've removed everything. And I like to use just a stiff brush to get a lot of that looseness off of there. See what I'm doing? I always go in a pattern. Always start from this base point. Clean all the goobers up. Then here's the back side. This is what we're going to work on today. There's the wood. That's what will hold him to the base. We'll get to that. Okay. What I like to use, if I can find it, there it is, just regular tape. Believe me, when it's up on the wall, when the shadows reflect back off of it, it still has a very good effect. See now, the fins are like a cup of water. Like you fill a cup of water up and there's still some water over the rim still held in there. Well, that's kind of how these fins are. You don't want to cut them straight. There's nothing occurring naturally in nature is really straight. So what I do, I'm going to show you how I'm going to get set up here. I just take the tape that's a little wider than what you'd use for Christmas, and it's got like a little edge on it. I'll use that too. See along that edge right there, them little teeth. It's back but it's looks more natural. It's a little longer, just shorten it a little bit. And always go below the line. Now that's against the wall. When people look up at it, that tape will almost be invisible. Next, I like to use hot glue. And when I have to get that hot glue warmed up, hot glue is a petroleum product, and it will last forever. And that helps with, with the fish. So what we do, we've got our gun warmed up now. It's the first time you're going to see it on screen. Okay, there you go. And we'll go to the back first. That hole up. Put it all in there. And then like around here, you could really go for it. Really blob it on there. And help hold it all together. You see what I'm doing, how I'm working it. I'm working it. Now remember how I showed you with the eye. Let it cool down a little bit. Let it cool down a little bit. There's a little spit. Spit. And then just smooth it. Now later we'll go back, just like the eye, and we'll put what else we need over it. Okay, we're about to run out. So we've got another one right here. So what we do, now here's the wood block, the masonite, the masonite. And we fill it in there like that. And that'll help stick it to everything. And then like the little threads holding it in, we'll back them up with the hot glue. That was a real good job. And all underneath, just all around there. And make sure that you keep it smooth. A little blob here it needs. Maybe a little blob there. Look from tail to head. Now remember how to use this stuff. You squirt it all down in there. And you let it cool. Okay, now that it's cool, I got a fan on. Put a little spit, and then just smooth it down. It's hot. So you just flatten it out, make it smooth. Because you're going to go back over it again. That'll help hold all the matrix together, and that baby is on there. Now, if you get a great big fish, like about a 30-pound northern pike or something, I would take 2 screws, double that up. This is a small fish, not very heavy. But I would put 2 screws through this masonite to really hold that into the fish itself before I put it on the base, the final mount. Okay, load it up. Now what I'm doing is filling up the back of the head right here. Stick it down in there. See if it's coming out. Okay. And we're just building up. Remember how our process is. And just fill it up. Keep it level so it don't go everywhere. Kind of fill that baby up. Drip it down in there. And let it get a good old shot down in there. Because gravity again is helping you pull the liquid back toward what you're trying to seal. Because when he was alive, everything here hooked to the bones, right across his gill plates right here. But this stuff is hot, man. That's the secret of using it, is to let it cool, use some spit, because the glue will not stick to your finger if it's got spit on it. That's how you can get away with shaping it. And if you get any on the eyeball, you can just come back, use your knife, and just pick it off. Okay. Remember what I did with the front, the back, I mean. You just put like a base, go all the way around the eye socket with the hot glue. Don't go crazy with it. Get a little base in there. Okay. Make sure it goes to the edges. Make sure it goes to the edges. And remember, you got gravity. Gravity's helping you. You can look in the light and see if it's all nice and everything. And let it cool. It only takes a second or two. I'm just smoking this cigarette to show you, not to rush. You're waiting on gravity, you're waiting on the hot glue to cool. And a little spit on the finger. And then it's still hot. Push it down in there. You want that base there to be solid. So what we're going to do, we're going to get the material to put over the fins. The fins are very porous, and the fins and the tape and everything. When you cover it, the plastic properties kind of grab it all together so it'll last a long time. It's clear acrylic latex caulk. Get your brush, a little bit of moisture on it, and then tack it in there. It gets nice and creamy. This eye is going to be mounted first, then the fins, and then it'll be put up to dry and cure. Then it'll be painted. I'll show you guys how to paint it. It looks pretty good, and they don't have any paint at all. Well, you see this. Get my glue gun. Remember now, we're learning about how to use this. It's like a paintbrush now. It's an artist tool now. What we do, still kind of tacky. Okay. There's your eye. Take this, remember it's gravity down. Just go around. Just go around the whole socket. That's the membranes that you've cut away. Okay. Put a little bit in there. Make sure you got enough to play with. Make it nice and smooth around there. Make sure you got enough to play with. Put it all in there. Now watch this. Like to let it settle up real good. And take your eye, make sure it's looking ahead, and then just take it and drop it. Right there. Don't spit on your fingers. Push it down in there. And give it a good look. And there's the eye set. Now look at him. Oh yeah. Maybe a little down right here. Get him lined up right. Okay. And hold it up, have a look on the wall. Oh, that's looking good. Yeah. Now remember, most mounted fish or trophies are put up, so people can't touch them. And this thing's going to be 10 foot off the ground. You don't to get it too perfect. Now there's the eye set with the hot glue. I like that nice opaque look. It's like the membranes of the live fish. He's ready. When this dries, he's got his eyes, he's got his fins all fixed up. Get a little bit there. That's a little heavy on the light. Make sure all your lines go straight. Okay. Next, what we want to do is it dries transparent, and then I like to wait overnight when I'm not in a rush. But this stuff will dry. It's dry. It's dry. Now you can see I got a little bit left over. Clean it. I'm going to go to the sink and I'm going to clean my brushes with water because it's acrylic and clean my mess up.